watching the Meech.
The Wii U, the console everybody seems to love to hate. But as the saying goes, they hate them because they ain't them. Kids nowadays will never know what Nintendo consoles were like that weren't held together by Elmer's glue and earwax and had controllers that didn't drift. I think it's apparent the Wii U holds a very special place in my heart. It also holds a special place in my TV and electrical outlet because I still play it to this day. But unfortunately, the Wii U wasn't exactly the revolution Nintendo was hoping for. It's by far their worst selling home console, with the Virtual Boy and obscure console revisions being the only ones that sold less. Some may think the Wii U sold poorly because it was a bad console. That's just not true. It was a combination of many different factors. The name itself was confusing. The initial reveal trailer in 2011 was an absolute fiasco. I was 11 years old at the time, ready to graduate elementary school, and I initially thought that it was a peripheral for the Wii. Years later I thought, maybe I was just naive. But no, many people thought that as well, likely because the term new controller was used 12 times in the reveal trailer, and not once was the term new console used. But believe it or not, that wasn't the tipping point for the Wii U's failure. Don't believe me? Let's see how the same sort of advertisement could work for the Nintendo 64. Despite never saying the term new console, it's obvious the Nintendo 64 is a different console. That's because the games on it are far more advanced than anything on the Super Nintendo. The main reason why the Wii U failed, in my opinion, were the games revealed alongside it. Most games shown in the reveal trailer looked identical to Wii games. Wii Sports is a defining Wii game, and seeing it here really made you believe the Wii U was an accessory for the Wii, and not the successor to the Wii. But if there's one guy who can showcase this as a new console better than anyone else, it's none other than Groose! Oh, and that obscure character Mario. Every Nintendo console has a definitive Mario game. Games like the Super Mario Bros. Trilogy, Super Mario World, the Super Mario Land games, especially Land 2, New Super Mario Bros., and any of the 3D Mario games showcase the capabilities of the consoles that they're on. They are system sellers. Super Mario Odyssey is a game that really enticed me to get a Switch. But could you imagine if a Nintendo console didn't have a major Mario game either launching or revealed alongside it? You might not even need to do that. Last episode, we took a look at New Super Mario Bros. 2, but nearly 3 months later, we got another New Super Mario Bros. Game, being New Super Mario Bros. U. Both of these games are not seen in the brightest light. These games are often pinpointed as the games that led to the generic downfall of the Mario series from 2012 to 2016. I will admit that New Super Mario Bros. U looked far more interesting. I was a huge fan of the Mario series even then, and I could easily tell that the game had quite a few new features, but for a casual consumer, it looked identical to New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So the question is New Super Mario Bros. U the 5-star meal the series needed, or is it so generic it may as well be called New Super Market Pantry Marco? Remember how I said the games revealed alongside the Wii U in 2011 looked identical to Wii games? The Mario game shown was no exception. A tech demo called New Super Mario Bros. Me was used to showcase the off-TV play of the gamepad and HD graphical capabilities of the Wii U.
One of these things is not like the other.
Wait just a minute! These look exactly the same. You tell me, if you saw a screenshot of New Super Mario Bros. Wii and Me side by side, would you initially be able to tell the difference? Very subtle differences are here, but only ones Mario series veterans would be able to notice. This is exactly why the Wii U was perceived to only be an add-on for the Wii. This tech demo later evolved into New Super Mario Bros. U. The reveal trailer for that game made it far more apparent that it was a new game, showcasing new features and backgrounds that had more detail and looked different than the ones found in Wii. Unlike New Super Mario Bros. 2 that heavily marketed the coin gimmick, this game primarily marketed it was a sequel to Wii. Being a huge fan of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I was very excited to get the game. In fact, I almost did get the game shortly after it launched. My birthday was coming up, and my dad was literally able to get the Wii U, despite it being a bit hard to find at launch, but because I wasn't behaving that day, my mom forced him to return it. I'm guessing getting Paper Mario Sticker Star was also part of the punishment, but whatever the case was, one day of misbehavior cost me an entire year without a Wii U. Eventually I decided to get my act together, and I got the Wii U for my birthday in 2013. It was a Mario and Luigi bundle too, which was perfect because I was excited to play Mario and Luigi U. But the question is, did New Super Mario Bros. U live up to the hype I had for it? New Super Mario Bros. 2 was so devoid of an interesting story that I had to make one up as a joke while covering the game. But here, I don't have to. They actually managed to do something different. Bowser and the Koopalings take over the Mushroom Kingdom and open 7 Koopa hotels. Oops, wrong game. Bowser and the Koopalings take over Peach's castle and throw Mario and friends to the other side of the Mushroom Kingdom. It's up to them to rescue Peach and regain Peach's castle. It still goes for the cliche, Bowser bad, rescue Peach story, but at least it managed to do something slightly original. As I stated before, New Super Mario Bros. U doesn't have a defining gimmick like the coins in New Super Mario Bros. 2, but rather, it has new concepts and features throughout the game. You'll instantly notice one of them before you even play any levels. In most Mario games, the world map is separated, but here, it's connected. All the locations have names too, and there's a theme of food and beverages, though I'm not sure about Acorn Plains, because I've yet to meet someone who eats acorns. Occasionally you'll find alternate paths, letting you choose which levels you want to play first. The best thing about an interconnected world map is that it's more immersive and feels more organic, but honestly here, it's mainly just a gimmick. In Super Mario World, there were levels with secret exits, and you'd know this because the levels with secret exits were marked with a blinking light, but outside of a few visual cues, you'll never know directly which levels have secret exits. It wasn't an issue for me since I've been playing Mario games for years and I know the ropes, but it's worth bringing up. Really, this is no different than the world map in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, with the only differences being the transitions between locations, and occasionally, you'll find power-ups on the map. An example of a truly intuitive world map is in Super Mario 3D World. There are many secrets in new locations, making the world map serve as more than just a way to organize levels. The world map isn't as interesting as it appears, but I'm hoping I'll go nuts for the game itself. The gameplay in New Super Mario Bros. U is identical to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but this time, you can use button controls on the gamepad and Wii U Pro controller. The motion controls in New Super Mario Bros. Wii were fun to use, but I don't always want to look like I'm having a seizure at family gatherings. The option to use the classic controller would have been very nice. If you play the game with button controls, all the motion-controlled actions have been designated to the shoulder buttons. The only issue I have with them is that they're designated to the L and R buttons instead of ZL and ZR. I don't understand why Nintendo hates what players see as normal controls, and while we're at it, nobody likes playing NES games with the A and B buttons. Why not just allow us to use Y and B like in any modern 2D platformer? Using the L and R buttons for actions isn't a major problem, but it's worth bringing up. Most of the game remains identical to Wii, but there are some new and returning concepts. The new Super Acorn power-up gives you the ability to glide, get a boost for extra height, increases the spin jump height, and lets you cling to walls. If this was a Sugar Glider suit, you'd also have the ability to bark, creating a shockwave defeating all enemies. While the Raccoon suit is my favorite flight power-up, the Squirrel suit is still very useful. All the power-ups from New Super Mario Bros. Wii return as well. The only catch is that the propeller mushrooms and penguin suits can only be found in Toad houses in the special world, so the primary power-ups you'll use are the Squirrel suit along with the Fire and Ice Flower. It's a nice mix to have because all of them have different characteristics, and although the Mega Mushroom doesn't return, the Mini Mushroom is here with the added ability of running up walls. It still is just a key to get star coins and find secret exits though. The Mini Mushroom is hardly a power-up, but more of an obstacle. The Squirrel suit is the only new power-up, but there are new abilities you can use with the return of Baby Yoshis. There are 3 different Baby Yoshis, each with their own ability. The magenta ones not only have no style or grace and have a funny face, but they can inflate themselves just like a balloon. And the yellow ones light up dark areas and can stun enemies, but unlike the other 2, the glowing Baby Yoshis are only available in select levels. These abilities are directly from Super Mario Galaxy 2's Yoshi power-ups. Only one of them has a new ability.
Hey,
Can you blow bubbles with your spit? Like this, watch!
These bubbles can not only defeat enemies, but give you power-ups and create platforms. It was cool that Baby Yoshi's returned. Very nice throwback to Super Mario World. But to be honest, I don't like their addition. It's not for the reasons you'd expect either. They'd actually be cool to see in Mario Kart, as they have relevance to the series and weren't made up specifically for Mario Kart, like Baby Daisy and Rosalina. I also find them adorable, and it's a cute little touch that they sing to the music. My problem with them is that when you use them, it becomes a babysitting simulator. You'll have to constantly hold on to them. Some sections require the use of a fire or ice flower to get a star coin, and it's annoying having to alternate between the power-ups and Baby Yoshi. All their abilities could have just been used for power-ups. It would be more fun to have a bubble flower power-up, where you could just throw bubbles to create platforms and defeat enemies. These Baby Yoshis are also like Peter Pan, and never grow up. I preferred their function in Super Mario World, where you'd feed them and watch them grow up to be powered-up Yoshis. Other than the squirrel suit and Baby Yoshis, the gameplay is mostly the same as New Super Mario Bros. Wii. All of the levels are new, but they're designed very similar to Wii. The levels are more open and the level design is good, but some star coins and hidden exits are in ridiculous places. This game went completely overboard with invisible blocks and walls, but most of the levels are well designed. You'll occasionally encounter new and seldomly seen enemies throughout the game. Goombas finally got a red Koopa equivalent, being the Goombrats, who won't walk off platforms. The Waddle Wings are the enemy equivalent of the squirrel suit, similar to the Super Koopas in Super Mario World. And not only does the elephant go thwomp, but now we have circular thwomps that roll on the stage. And if you want a more smug bullet bill, Torpedo Ted is back from Super Mario World. While there are more new enemies than in New Super Mario Bros. 2, there aren't many, and when there is a new enemy, a level will make a big deal out of it, only for them to rarely be used again. It's even more unfortunate when it comes to the bosses. The only bosses are ones we've seen before. The only one that's kinda new is just a variation of an existing enemy. If you want to have the main bosses be Koopalings, fine. But why does nearly every tower boss have to be Boom Boom? This does not qualify as a boss battle. What's interesting is that despite all of this, there is a prominent new villain. Dare I say, he steals the spotlight. Nabbit makes his first appearance in the game, and you'll have to stop his Toad House heist in every world. These replace the Toad rescue missions from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. If there's anything I didn't like in that game, those would be it. All you did was carry the worthless fungus to the goal, and got rewarded with a Toad House. Yippee! So they were pointless. But here, the Nabbit chases are fun, and if you do manage to catch him, you're awarded with the exclusive P-Acorn. It functions like the squirrel suit, but you can have infinite boost. It's very similar to the P-Wing in Super Mario Bros. 3. And just like the P-Wing, it only lasts for one level, so it's best to use it when you need to. The biggest strength and weakness in New Super Mario Bros. U is how it plays nearly identically to New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The formula for that game was great, and this is a continuation of it. The problem is, almost none of the issues in that game were addressed here. All 4 players play identically, but you can only play as Mario in the main campaign. If you're a fan of the mean green ghost catching machine and the Toads, well that's too bad. Even New Super Mario Bros. 2 had Luigi as an unlockable character. The only things you'll unlock here are the special world and the ability to save. Wow, thanks Nintendo. Saving would make the game way too easy. The quick save makes perfect sense. It's my fault if I need to go to the bathroom, eat, or do anything else. But by far the most baffling design choice is how Yoshi is handled. In New Super Mario Bros. Wii, he was only available in select levels, and he couldn't be taken to other levels. You can bring the baby Yoshis to different levels here, but the regular Yoshis remain level exclusive. There's actually a good reason for this. This is a well-constructed and peer-reviewed answer as to why you can't bring the adult Yoshis to other levels in New Super Mario Bros. U. Oh wait, there is none! How does this make any sense? A sequel is made not just to succeed a successful game, but to correct flaws in a prior game. If there's something you didn't like in Wii, it's very likely going to be present here. But if there's one difference between the two games, it's the presentation. The Wii U is capable of HD, and this was the very first HD Mario game. But the question is, does the HD here stand for high definition or highly disappointing? New Super Mario Bros. U has improved resolutions for all the characters and items, but they're literally just upscaled from Wii because the models are identical, the locations are more detailed, and some look noticeably different from Wii. Acorn Plains has rolling hills and oak trees, Soda Jungle has larger and more detailed trees. Good they didn't reuse textures from Nintendo 64 trees like a certain other game. And Frosted Glacier takes place at night, complete with Aurora Borealis. Other locations don't look too much different than Wii, but if all these locations have one thing in common, it's that they've been done before. All except for the final world are from every other New Super Mario Bros. Game. There's only one level that everyone remembers, that being the Van Gogh-inspired painted swampland. This is what boggles my mind. The art design for this level is incredible. So why is most of the game so boring to look at? You also might want to pull a Van Gogh. After listening to the soundtrack, most of the music is recycled from Wii once again, but unlike New Super Mario Bros. 2, there are at least a few original songs here. The overworld has a new theme, and it's also applied to the athletic and snow theme. The final level and boss also have a really cool theme, and the map has new music as well. It's an improvement from New Super Mario Bros. 2, but not by much. That game literally had no original music, and it's very easy to pass the standard of none to some original music, and only a few of the new songs are excellent. So yes, HD here stands for highly disappointing. I'll always consider Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe to be the very first high-definition Mario game. Just like every New Super Mario Bros. Game, this game has additional modes. It also got a major expansion being New Super Luigi U, but considering how Luigi U is essentially its own game, that's for another video. The co-op from New Super Mario Bros. Wii returns. If you loved it there, you'll love it here, but if you didn't like it, you won't like it here either. I always found co-op to be the most fun with 2 players. It's far more manageable and less chaotic, but it's nice to have the ability to play with more than just 2 players. And surprisingly, you can actually play with up to 5 players now, but not in the way you'd expect. Rather than a third Toad, the 5th player will use a gamepad to place platforms in the level to help the other players out. This is the Little Brother's Little Brother mode. It's helpful if you want to reach star coins and avoid bottomless pits, but I'm certain most would want to actually play the game, and there should have been at least an option for true 5-player co-op. There's also the coin battle mode returning from Wii, and your goal is to collect the most coins to win. It added the ability for players to have team battles, and a player can add coins to the levels using the gamepad. When it comes to multiplayer, the story mode is what I usually play, but unlike New Super Mario Bros. Wii, there are quite a few single-player modes as well. Boost Rush has a collection of levels that speed up when you collect coins. It's similar to time trials in Mario Kart, as your goal is to complete the levels in the shortest amount of time. It's also similar to time trials because I completely ignore this mode too. Most of the additional modes are either multiplayer exclusive or not that interesting. But there is one mode that's not just great, but one of the best modes in any Mario game. All the New Super Mario Bros. Games are easy. They're not old school hard, not even 9-7 and Wii. But for those looking for a challenge, the challenge mode will provide just that. There are many different challenges, such as speedrunning, getting 1-ups, and not touching the ground. These challenges can get very difficult, and they're an absolute blast to play. It's the best thing about New Super Mario Bros. U, and I hope to see it return in every succeeding 2D Mario game. It's worth bringing up that not only can you play as whatever character you want in the side modes, but also your Mii. So let me get this straight. Why can I use any character or Mii I want in every mode but the main campaign? This game has so many baffling design choices. Even Patrick Star would think, why can't I play as Buckenberry in the single-player campaign? Eventually, my rage and fury was heard because in 2019, Nintendo released New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the Switch. The Nintendo Switch truly is the first portable console, isn't it? Most of the popular Switch games are ports of Wii U games. I can't help but laugh that the exact same people who made fun of me for playing the Wii U in middle school are rushing out to play the same games I played years before them. The Wii U ports aren't a bad thing. Most are just highly overpriced. So let's see if New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe truly lives up to the name. This game includes both New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U, and I'm happy to say, out of all the issues I had with New Super Mario Bros. U, only 2 were addressed. You can finally play as any character you want in the main campaign, except for the Miis. This also applies to New Super Luigi U, but playing as Toad there feels kinda wrong. And finally, you can perform motion-controlled actions with the ZL and ZR buttons, but most of the issues I had with New Super Mario Bros. U are present here, and then some. Toadette replaces the fourth playable Toad, and has a few special abilities. She has great traction, can swim better, adds 100 seconds to the timer, and can transform into... Hold on. She can transform into... Let me prepare myself for this. She can transform into Peachette. First of all, why not just have Peach be playable? Sure, you'd have to rescue someone else, but what's the point of making Peach only kinda playable? And really, Peachette is just a repurposed squirrel suit. Toadette makes an easy game even easier, but if you don't care about any semblance of challenge, you could just cheat your way through the levels and play as the invincible Nabbit. He was playable in New Super Luigi U, but is now playable in Mario U as well. I remember a guy named Carolus telling me in 8th grade, Mario is for babies, and considering how hard Nintendo pushed to make an easy game even easier, I can't say I'm too surprised where he's coming from. Not only that, any of the content that required the gamepad is missing here. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but since when is removing content considered deluxe? But the worst things about New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe are in regards to multiplayer and the controls. If you're playing with 4 players, one player will either have to play as Toadette or Nabbit, so they'll always have an edge. Blue Toad is only a costume for Toad and is not a separate character. It's a really stupid decision, but this game somehow managed to make me lose even more brain cells with the controls. The spin jump is designated by default to the B button. Tapping it twice activates a spin jump, but oftentimes you'll spin jump on accident because of this. But that's not a problem, I'll just turn it off in the settings. Wait, it's not even in the settings. Get this, you have to manually click the left stick and hold the L and R buttons for 3 seconds on the title screen, and then press A to deactivate the spin jump every time you boot up the game. If you ever feel useless, always remember that there is a guy in this world who was so proud of designating the spin jump to the B button that he only allowed players to turn it off by inputting a cheat code. So unless you really love Buckenberry and a la Gold and have a bizarre fascination with Peachette, this game is actually worse than the original. So unless you didn't own a Wii U or want to play New Super Mario Bros. U on the porcelain throne outside of your own home, stay far away from this game. There is nothing deluxe about it. So far we've established that New Super Mario Bros. U is fun and has great level design, and the challenge mode is excellent, but the game does suffer from being extremely derivative of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, the presentation is unimpressive, and a lot of the new ideas it introduces either fall flat or are just uninteresting. So what's the verdict? Out of all the games that I've covered, coming up with a verdict for New Super Mario Bros. U proved to be the most difficult. I was so confused about my stance on the game that I had a conversation with T&D about New Super Mario Bros. U for well over an hour, and I've come to the conclusion that the answer isn't as straightforward as you'd think. New Super Mario Bros. U is a good game. I've gotten many hours out of it, and had fond memories playing it, and it's still fun to play to this day. Objectively, it's also one of the best 2D Mario games out there. And unlike New Super Mario Bros. 2, there are at least some new mechanics and features that resort to being more than just a gimmick. But here's a problem. New Super Mario Bros. U is just New Super Mario Bros. Wii all over again. Some may argue New Super Mario Bros. Wii is just DS again, but in defense of Wii, that game added major new features and brought back long-awaited returning concepts. The co-op was a huge new addition. If you didn't like it, then yeah, your experience will be very similar to the first game. It also had excellent new power-ups, each with different unique abilities. And although the Koopalings now have the reputation of being the pinnacle of lazy bosses and hogging Mario Kart roster spots, seeing them in 3D for the first time was very cool. It was nice seeing them return. There were also many new enemies and mechanics introduced. New Super Mario Bros. U is pretty much just an extension of Wii. The levels are great and the power-ups are too, but considering how similar it is and how it addressed next to no issues from that game, it's a very forgettable and underwhelming experience. Think of it this way. Everybody and their mother wants Mario Kart 9 except for Jay Plays. We've been waiting a long time for it, but instead of doing something revolutionary and memorable, Nintendo decides to recycle Mario Kart 8. The tracks are new, but often have the same music and themes as the tracks in 8, and almost none of the issues from Mario Kart 8 are addressed. It still would be a good game at the very least, but the lost potential sours the experience and makes it forgettable. New Super Mario Bros. U has also aged as well as Donatello Versace, not because cultural norms have changed or because of technical limitations. Nearly every 2D platformer since then has completely blown it out of the water. Games like Rayman Legends and Origins, Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, and even lower key games like Yoshi's Crafted World are superior in every aspect. The levels feel organic, archaic elements like the timer are gone, and they have excellent mechanics and presentations that prove 2D platformers aren't a relic of the past. Mario used to be the shining example of what 2D platformers should be, and when the series that set the standard for 2D platformers now has some of the weakest and most forgettable platformers out there, that's a major problem, and it's really sad. New Super Mario Bros. U isn't bad, it's still a good game, but it's extremely repetitive and forgettable. If you own a Switch and want a 2D Mario game, get Super Mario Maker 2 instead. It's far more creative and interesting, and it even has a story mode with over 100 levels made by Nintendo. But as it stands, New Super Mario Bros. U gets the specific ranking of stolen treasure. New Super Mario Bros. U is indeed a good game, but it leeches off entirely from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and the more I think about it, the more I realize that I actually have more resentment towards this game than New Super Mario Bros. 2. The reason because of this is that there's a lot of lost potential that's noticeable in the game. With New Super Mario Bros. 2, that game is completely unoriginal and has a coin gimmick that resorts to nothing. So really, it was kinda dead on arrival, but this game had some really cool concepts that were never lived up to their full potential. We have a really cool level inspired by Starry Night, but it's only one level. The rest of the worlds are basic Mario worlds we've seen before, and they didn't even attempt to address any issues from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It's quite obvious the game is trying to be reminiscent of Super Mario World, but why can't you take Yoshi out of levels? Why can't you know directly which levels have secret exits? This could have been one of the best and most memorable 2D Mario games out there, but unfortunately, it just remains stagnant and a forgettable experience. And to answer the question from before, it really wasn't that huge of a punishment not getting a Wii U for a year. Super Mario 3D World launched a year after the Wii U, and it's superior to New Super Mario Bros. U in every way. Although playing Paper Mario Sticker Star, that was indeed a punishment. It stinks that New Super Mario Bros. 2 and U were completely underwhelming, but as the saying goes, fans do what Nintendo don't. I'll be doing a video taking a look at the newer Super Mario Bros. Games and determining if they're the 2D Mario games that I've been wanting for years. So what do you guys think about New Super Mario Bros. U? Let me know in the comments and keep calm and da-da on.